Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to get started in just a minute. Okay. I know we have a few folks outside who are coming in, but they can join us when they come in, and we will get started. And I don't know if it shows on my face, but that light is very bright. It is blinding. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get us going. We are at 7 o'clock, and so I would like to welcome you all. Good evening to everyone, and thank you for supporting LAMP's 47th annual general meeting. We are aging, but we're aging gracefully. My name is Kidon Diaz, and I'm the executive director, and on behalf of myself, LAMP, and the board, we'd like to welcome you all here this evening. It is customary to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional and ancestral lands of Aboriginal peoples at the beginning of meetings. And so I'd like to call on Tim Ellis, a member of our board of directors, to share a land acknowledgement with us.
Thanks, Kidon. I just came from work, sorry. I got my nice sneakers on, so I dressed up for the occasion, best I could do. I'd like to start by honoring the land that we are on, which has been the site of human activity since time immemorial. It has been, and it is, the traditional territories of the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River First Nations. Ontario is also home to many Indigenous nations from across Turtle Island, including the Inuit and the Métis. The settlers in Ontario have signed 46 treaties and agreements. These treaties and other agreements, including the One Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, are agreements to peaceably share and care for the land and its resources. Other Indigenous nations, Europeans, and newcomers were invited into this covenant in a spirit of respect, peace, and friendship, and a responsibility to care for this land and for each other. When you picture an agreement, you probably picture a nice, polite, consensual agreement, but we have to be cognizant of the broken covenants, broken agreements, and enforced agreements, and the oppression experienced by Indigenous communities, and the many lives lost due to systemic violence and colonialism. We strive and are responsible for making this right. As a result, we are all treaty people. We have come here as settlers, immigrants, newcomers in this generation and of generations past. I'd also like to acknowledge those of us who came here forcibly, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. And therefore, we honor and pay tribute to the ancestors of African origin and descent.
Thank you, Tim. And I'd like to now introduce Camila Lozada, who is a graduate of Humber College's Bachelor of Music program. She will lead us in the singing of O Canada. Camila?
O Canada, our home and native land, true patron love in all
Thank you, Camila, for gracing us with your beautiful voice. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Rania Shuggi, Chair of the LAMP Board of Directors, to get us started with this evening's festivities. I'll call it festivities.
Welcome, everyone. And as introduced, my name is Rania Shuggi, and I have had the pleasure of serving as LAMP's board chair since 2022. I'm a little bit shorter than Cadone. I have to put that down a little. It is also my pleasure to welcome you tonight and to thank everyone for attending LAMP's 2024 AGM. It really is wonderful to see so many of our partners, community leaders, youth, and volunteers, as well as our community here with us this evening. Together, we improve health and wellness through integrated services and connecting our community. And most of you know, LAMP Community Health Center strives to improve quality of life in our communities by supporting people to reach their fullest potential. We work to remove barriers for marginalized people so that they can access the care and services they need in South Etobicoke and East Mississauga. I hope you've had a chance to read our annual impact report, as it provides a picture of who we are, our values, and our programs. It is a celebration of the work completed by our team of dedicated, creative, and passionate staff and volunteers, and I encourage you to take a look. I would like to thank Cadone and the entire LAMP team, along with our volunteers. I am always in awe of the work that you do, your impact, and your extensive reach. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to encourage everyone here to become a member of LAMP if you haven't already done so. Membership is an important indicator of community engagement to our stakeholders and endorses the work that we do. By becoming a member of LAMP, you help to affect positive social change through your support of the work that we do. It's as easy as completing the membership form and submitting it to us, and there's actually folks here tonight at the community table who can give you a hand with that. You will notice that we have removed the requirement of a $3 a year membership, and there was a couple of reasons that we did that. First of all, we wanted to increase accessibility for anyone who wants to become a member, and we also wanted to decrease the administrative burden of processing a $3 fee. We do, however, value and need your support, and we encourage those who are able and want to give to LAMP to make a donation instead. Donations are very important for us as an organization, and they help us do the important work that we do. Tax receipts will be provided for donations of $20 or more, and we thank you in advance for your support. And I think I speak for all of us when I say we look forward to seeing you at LAMP as we begin a new year of serving our community. So with that, we will begin the business portion of the meeting since quorum has already been met. We're going to start with some housekeeping items, followed by a review of our agenda. So first off, voting members have been given a card at registration. When voting, I would ask you to please hold up your voter's card. If you are making a motion or if you're seconding a motion, please state your name and spell it clearly for the minute taker. The agenda was handed out and is on the screen, or will be shortly. I hope. Yes, there we go. Okay, thank you. And so with that, I will ask for a motion from a member to approve the agenda. Thank you, Tim. And may I have a seconder? Thank you, Louis Charles. And those in favor, please vote to approve the agenda. Members, if I can ask you to hold up your cards. Thank you. Any opposed? Nope. Okay, thanks. And any abstaining? All right, thank you, motion carried. So next item on the agenda is a review of the previous minutes. And we will now review and approve the minutes of the September 2023 AGM. And I'll just ask if there are any changes or additions that anyone would like to propose. And seeing as I'm almost blinded by the light, I will ask somebody closer to the floor to tell me if they see anything. I don't see anything. Okay. I will ask for a motion, please, for a member to approve the 2023 AGM minutes. Can I have someone to, I see David, thank you, David. And someone to second the motion, please? Thank you, Annette. And those in favor, please vote to approve the agenda. Hold up your voting cards, members, thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, any abstaining? All right, motion carried. Thank you, everyone. So, next up on the agenda, I would like to introduce you to Juliette Allen, our board secretary.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to see everyone. So it is my pleasure to introduce Derek Chan, CPA, CA, MBA of Hilborn LLP. Hilborn LLP conducted our audit, and Derek Chan will be presenting the results from the audited financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2024. So could we have Derek come to the stage, please?
Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. My name is Derek Chan, Associate Partner at Hilborn LLP. It is my pleasure to present the audit findings and the financial statements of LAM. The purpose of our audit is to provide an opinion on the overall fairness of the financial statements in accordance with the relevant accounting framework or standards to add credibility and assurance on the information as presented to you on the annual audited financial statements. And our audit opinion is based on the results of our audit verifications on the books and records of LAM. Our audit engagement team had completed the audit back in early June. It was a clean audit. We did not come across any significant matters that we needed to bring to your management, the finance committee, or the board's attention. I would like to take this time to thank the management team of LAM. We have received full cooperations from the management team throughout the entire audit process. It was a smooth audit process. As part of our audit process, we verified LAM's accounting policies, accounting estimates made by management, as well as the overall financial statements presentation and note disclosure. And we're happy to report that the accounting policies adopted by LAM are adequate and have been consistently applied. Management estimates are reasonable and free of any indication of potential biases. Financial statements presentation and note disclosures are also adequate and have been consistently applied. We had issued our audit opinion that the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of LAM as at March 31st, 2024, the results of its operations and cash flows for the year then ended are in accordance with Canadian accounting standards. Now, let's get to the numbers. LAM is in a strong financial position with $2.8 million of cash, $7.8 million in short-term and long-term investments, and total assets of $12.7 million. Net asset balance totaled to about $2.6 million, which is an increase of $240,000 from the prior year as a result of the current year's operating surpluses. In terms of the operation, overall, a very strong financial year for LAM this year. Total revenue increases from $16 million to roughly about $17.8 million. And the increase is mainly to do with increase in approved program funding from Ontario Health with regards to base salary increases. Total expenses increased from roughly about $16 million to about $17.6 million, and with salaries and benefits being the biggest driver of the increase, and the increase is pretty much in line with the additional funding received from Ontario Health throughout the year. At the end of the year, LAM has an operating surplus of $240,500. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Are there any questions concerning the financial statements that were just presented? No? All right, so given that there are no further questions, I may have a motion to accept the financial statements for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024, and the report from the auditors. So may I have somebody move the motion, please? Thank you, Louis Charles. And can we have somebody second the motion, please? Thank you, Jana. All those in favor, please hold up your voter card. Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion is carried. Our next point of business is appointing the auditors for next year and to fix their remuneration. So this brings me to our next motion. So may I have a motion to authorize the LAMP Board of Directors to appoint our auditors for next year and to fix their remuneration? Moved by, thank you, Timothy, and seconded by, oh gosh. Graham, thank you, Graham. All right. All those in favor, please hold up your voter card. Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion is carried. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce you to David Thornley, Chair of LAMP's Governance Board. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you to Gillette and Derek. We are now moving into the board nomination and election component of the AGM, but before we do this, I'd like to recognize 3 of our board members who will be leaving this year. Louis Charles Lavallee, Megan Primo, and Andre Tran. Along with general director roles, Louis Charles also served as treasurer, Megan as vice chair, and Andre served as chair of our governance committee. Louis Charles, Megan, and Andre, will you join me at the front, please? Oh, they're all the same. Okay. On behalf of the board, Louis Charles, I would like to thank you for your dedication and insights and hard work on the board. Thank you very much. And next, Megan. What's that? Oh, sorry. Thank you. And she isn't here at the moment. And Andre? Andre Tran, not here either? Okay, we have parting gifts for both of them, but they weren't able to be with us at this time. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank Louis Charles Lavallee, Megan Primo, and Andre Tran for their dedication, invaluable work, insights, and ongoing support in their time on the board. We will now move to the board nomination and election component of the AGM. The governance committee of the board is responsible for the succession of board members. We recruit and interview candidates to fill board vacancies. Being a director requires a strong commitment to the mission, vision, and values of LAMP, as well as the precious gift of time. 3 board members have completed their terms on the board and have chosen to run again for another 2-year term. When I call your name, please stand. Marianne Sargosa. Ryan McKean. And Graham Rollins. We would like to thank you for your contribution to the board over the last 2 years and for your continued commitment to serve. The nominating committee would also like to present 5 new nominees to fill other vacancies on the board. Short bios were sent out as part of your AGM package. Please stand when I call each of your names. Annette Hetherington. Beth Anas. Kelly Klein. Olga Semenovic. And Parul Yadav. I would like to call for a motion to approve our new nominees, Annette Hetherington, Beth Anas, Kelly Klein, Olga Semenovic, and Parul Yadav, as well as returning board members Marianne Sargosa, Ryan McKean, and Graham Rowlands to a 2-year term on the LAMP board. May I have a motion? Yes, and also a seconder. Charles. All those in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, any abstentions? It's unanimous then and carried. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to welcome all of our new members, Annette, Beth, Kelly, Olga, and Parul. We look forward to your contributions and thank you, and now I'll be handing it back to Rania.
Thank you for that, David. So the good news is that concludes the business portion of our AGM. And I would just like to take a quick moment to thank our board members, and particularly Tim, Gillette, and David for helping out this evening. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Cadone.
Okay, thanks everyone for that very smooth business portion of our board meeting. LAMP has a tradition of engaging our community in topical issues impacting the people who live and work here. This year, we are very pleased to have greetings from our local city councilor and deputy mayor for the West, Councilor Amber Morley, and our keynote address from the Mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow. We look forward to hearing from them shortly. Right now, though, we will be taking a short 5-minute break, so feel free to stay in your seats, grab some refreshments, or take this opportunity to write down and submit a question for our mayor. There are cards and pens available at the registration tables, and we will reconvene after a 5-minute break. So see you in 5. Board of Directors. I hope you enjoyed our year in review video, which provided some highlights of our work. You can find more information about the work that we do in our annual report. I see some folks have a copy, and they should be outside on the registration table. We want to welcome you to this portion of the AGM, which we call our town hall portion. And we like to do this because it helps us to bring topical issues in our community here for discussion. And our town hall is focused today on the prescription for a livable, healthy, thriving city. While we all recognize that Toronto is a wonderful place to live, we also acknowledge the challenges we face, both citywide and within our local communities. We're fortunate to have our city councillor and mayor with us to discuss the issues that matter most to us. As we dive into conversations about the challenges and strengths of South Etobicoke, I want to highlight the importance of kindness and respect in our dialogue. These values are essential for fostering constructive discussions, and I encourage everyone to keep that in mind as we conduct our interactions this evening. Many of you submitted questions for our mayor upon your arrival, and following her keynote address, we will do our best to address as many of them as possible. While we may not get to every question, rest assured that we will collect them and share them with the mayor's office. Tonight, we're truly fortunate to welcome two inspiring civic leaders who are at the forefront of this impactful work of leading our great city. First, let's hear from Ward 3 Etobicoke Lakeshore Councillor and Deputy Mayor for the West, Amber Morley, followed by our keynote address from Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow. Thank you all for being here and for your commitment to our community. Please join me in giving Deputy Mayor Amber Morley a warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the very warm welcome and the invitation to join you here tonight. I am still very much a proud member of LAMP, and I often share in terms of when people ask, why did I get into politics? I am the poster child of what's possible with organizations like LAMP, investing in our communities, holding space for our young people and for all members of our community to be supported, to be encouraged, to be empowered, and to thrive, all the way up to the deputy mayor role for our beautiful West End of Toronto. So thank you all for your support. A big shout out and a thank you to Cadone, the team at LAMP, the board, new members and existing members that are returning to serve. Thank you to those who've dedicated incredible time to this important organization. And big shout out to Jasmine, who I always tease turned me into this person that I am today. Made me believe in myself maybe a little bit too much. So thank you, Jazz, for everything that you do to continue to support our community. So as many of you may know, I grew up here, right, stone's throw away, and I still live in the neighborhood, and I'm very proud to call Etobicoke Lakeshore home. This stage was for many, many years a site of excitement for our annual talent fashion showcase called Ruckus. That was a youth-led, youth-run production that filled the seats every year and was a big source of pride and joy, not only for the young people who got to showcase our talents and learn about organizing, but also for the community members, our friends and family who were able to come out and support us. So it's really exciting to be back on the stage tonight with all of you. I want to talk a little bit about the theme for tonight's conversation and the work that's happening at City Hall under the leadership of Mayor Chow, who we're so excited has taken the time to join us here tonight. Just this morning, I submitted a letter for a local organization that LAMP is supporting in their bid to purchase a 12-unit apartment building through the city's multi-unit residential acquisition program, also known as MURA. We continue to see the pressure and the stress that our society and our city certainly are under as people navigate affordability, a lack of housing options, and truly just a lot of difficult times. Organizations like LAMP continue to give people hope, and we're so grateful for that, and we continue to do everything we can at the city level to bring the kinds of housing options that we need online as soon as possible. The program that I mentioned, MURA, it provides funding and incentives to support non-profit housing providers, like Indigenous housing providers, cooperatives, like the one where I live and where I was raised, and community land trusts, like the South Etobicoke Land Trust that's recently been created. So congratulations for that big accomplishment. MURA allows organizations like this to acquire private market rental housing and secure these homes as permanently affordable nonprofit housing. We know how important that is. As we see skyscrapers in our city's busiest, one of the busiest in North America for building, we're still working hard to make sure that we're building the right kind of housing mix that actually meets the needs of the people. This year, Mayor Chow and Council significantly expanded the program by $100 million over 3 years in our past 2024 budget, and I'm delighted to welcome her to Etobicoke Lakeshore today, as I mentioned, to hear more about the great work that we're leading at the city. This is just one of the many ways that we are working together with the community towards real, long-term solutions to the challenges we continue to face and move towards as a city where we all can feel safe, supported, and cared for in the ways that we need and deserve. I want to again say thank you to all of the great staff here at LAMP, to all of you all as incredible community members who are here tonight contributing your time and energy to make sure Etobicoke Lakeshore remains the best community in the city, and of course, again, to the board for your leadership in support of LAMP. With that, I will turn it back over to Cadone, and I look forward to joining the mayor for the Q&A portion of tonight's event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber, for your remarks and for being here this evening and showing up for South Etobicoke always. Tonight, we're honored to have Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow to lead our keynote address. With just a little more than 1 year in office, our mayor has made great progress to gain funding for the City of Toronto through collaborations with other levels of government. Mayor Chow secured a new deal with the province and deals with the federal government, resulting in $600 million for the TTC, $471 million for affordable housing, $300 million for shelters, and more. By uploading the Gardner and Don Valley Parkway to the provincial government, Mayor Chow saved Toronto billions, which can be used to fix other infrastructure. That's collaboration, working together to build a better, healthier city for us all. Olivia Chow has served the people of Toronto for over 3 decades. Born in Hong Kong in 1957, she immigrated to Toronto with her parents at the age of 13. An apartment in St. Jamestown neighborhood was the launchpad for her remarkable personal journey as a community organizer, activist, school board trustee, Metro Toronto City Councillor, Member of Parliament, and now the first person of Asian descent to serve as Mayor of Toronto, and the first woman to serve as mayor since the 6 municipalities of Metro Toronto were amalgamated. She's been busy. As our new mayor, she is working hard to build a city that holds the same kind of hope and promise that it did when she first arrived here, a city that is more affordable, caring, and where everyone belongs. Please join me in welcoming Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow.
Wow, good evening. Oh, come on. Good evening. Yeah, yes, it is good that we can be together. Celebrating 47 years of LAMP, right? I saw the dancing, the drumming, like all the programs. I thought, wow. And then I looked at it and it said, achieving community health and well-being together. Of course, it is the key word being together. And the fact that we can spend some time together is just a real honor for me to be here with you. And thank you for that introduction. I saw my life flashing in front of me. You can quickly calculate how old I am by the year that I was born. Okay, don't do the math. Cadona and your staff, your board member, LAMP's dedication to making Toronto a healthier, more caring city or neighborhood. I thank you for all that work you're doing. And let's give them a big round of applause, all the people and the volunteers here. Thank you. I saw some words about among friends, and those words can't be truer because it's really about us coming together as friends, as a community to reconnect, to recharge, to recommit ourselves to work, to all the work ahead. And yeah, it is a lot of work ahead, but we know we can do it because you have fierce, dedicated people with lots of experience. And someone asked me, how do you, because someone said, I'm seeing you doing here, there, dancing this and meeting that, and you're always busy doing things, and how do you get the energy? Well, let me tell you, it's events like this to see all the people so dedicated in serving the community that gives me the energy, that charge me up so that I can keep doing what I do. So wonderful to be here. LAMP. I know L stands for Etobicoke, but LAMP. You could not be more correctly named because for so many people in Etobicoke and across the city, you light the way. Lamp, right? It is the light. Lighting the path to a stronger, healthier life. You keep the flame of hope burning bright for so many. So many could be isolated, feeling alone, feeling depressed, at the end of the ropes because the money's running out, or newcomers that are lost, don't know where to turn, seniors, kids that are saying, oh, ooh. You truly, whether it's mental health support, diabetes education programs, primary health care, making people, helping people make good, nutritious meals for themselves, you're truly changing lives. And I see that from the smiles in the videos of the people you serve, even just drumming, right? Or dancing. Your impact goes beyond just delivering those vital services. You help build the next generation of leaders who are having a huge impact in our city. I know because I work with one every single day. My deputy mayor, Amber Molly, started working here as a teenager. Still look like a teen, well, no. Not quite a teenager anymore, but she is the product of LAMP's youth development and leadership programming. Yes, she said she literally spent all her time here. This is your home. And during the pandemic, Amber was a health promoter at LAMP, leading community COVID vaccine delivery work. And you know how that saves lives. And she served as the director of the South Etobicoke Youth Assembly at LAMP. And during her time here, I know you saw the spark, that ferocity, that passion. Well, I get to see it. I see it growing every day at City Hall. And during the time she was at LAMP, Amber tirelessly organized, advocated, fought alongside young people to get them what they want, not to provide them, but getting them the confidence to get them what they need to live a strong, safe, and healthier lives, including, this is amazing, I don't know how you managed to do that, getting a dedicated community center built for youth in the community. Wow, that is truly amazing, right? Now, she didn't win the first time, neither did I. Okay, that's all right, we're both here. Yeah, you know what? You don't get first time, you learn, and you try again, you can be successful. You know, failure is a good way to learn, okay? She now stands beside me as the first black deputy mayor in Toronto's history. Yeah, yes. That's important because representation matters. Amber works hard, and she applies the lessons she learned right here with this community at LAMP as an inspiration for her work at City Hall. And she continued to push us all the programs and all the investment that are needed to make the lives of young people better. She learned it here, and she continued it at City Hall, right across the city. What a force of nature. Okay, don't blush. But that is the power and the legacy of this place, of this community. The kind of change you're making every day, not just in the lives of those you serve, but in helping create a generation of new leaders. And we're going to need more new leaders, like you in the room. It doesn't matter what age you are. I didn't start becoming mayor until, okay, yeah, I know, 66, okay, all right. I'm not young, okay? But experience matters, okay? It brings some wisdom, I think, but anyway. We need leaders, and leaders like you, leaders like Amber, leaders that never give up the fight, never give up hope, and if it's something that you want, you're going to push for it. And those are the leaders who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. They don't just have this idea and then say, oh yeah, you do it. No. Have the idea, bring some people together and make it happen. Those are true, and that having that vision and understanding the power is not just one person. The power comes from all of us coming together. That's the true form of leadership. And we need it. There are so many challenges ahead. You've heard the numbers. And each of these numbers represent a human being. You know that the Daily Bread Food Bank not far from here said that their numbers of people needing food bank went up by 25%. 25%. And already 1 in 10 people in the city need to use food banks. And 1 out of 3 of them are kids. And many of the people using food banks work many shifts. It's just their income are not enough. That after they pay rent, they don't have much left. That's why they're using the food bank. And they're also struggling to get to the job because it takes them quite a while, whether you're driving, the congestion, or they're waiting for a bus or streetcar. And young people are feeling a bit like, can we get ahead? And they hope they can stay in the city because the rent is high. And we are and have to build more homes. It is tough, but there's always light. There's always hope. As long as organizations like LAMP remain strong, remain resilient, you can help light the way for the rest of the city. I need you, all of you, to put your hands up and say, yeah, I want to build a more caring city, a place where we can feed the kids, build more homes, get Toronto moving faster. We need to do it together. And we want the next generation of the city to have a better life, a healthier and prosperous life, a safer life, because it is hard for young people to feel in some areas that they don't feel safe, and that fear can erode our confidence. So healthier, safe safer, more prosperous life. That's the kind of city we can be proud of. And I love to explore with you how we get there, how we could provide more funding to make sure every kid going to school have a meal, right? Imagine that. Imagine building thousands and thousands of affordable housing, which we did before. The city of Toronto, at one point in the 80s and 90s, because I'm old enough, in the 70s, built 32,000 units of housing. They're affordable housing built by the city. We can do that again, and we are doing it. We are doing 6,000 units. We want to do more, a lot more. So lots of things we can work together. It's not, we know we have the same shared purpose, our shared work, and because we know what kind of city we can be proud of. A city that is affordable, right? Safe, a place where we can care for each other, a place no matter where you come from, how old you are, who you love, doesn't matter. A place where you feel you belong. That sense of community, that sense of joy that people have when they come together. So this is where it starts. So thank you for allowing me to say a few words, and a lot more words answering your questions, because I want to listen to you. So thank you for having me here. So should I hang here and you folks are okay? I will do that.
Don't go far.
Okay, you ask the question and
Yes, we're gonna
Amber and I will answer.
yeah, we're gonna get comfy though. So we're gonna get you some chairs because we got questions.
I can stand.
Yeah, you're good to okay.
Well, I can sit down too, whatever you want.
Okay.
I can do squats.
Okay. This chair. Yes. Is this on? Is this good? Yes, I believe it's on now.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you. Okay, this works.
All
Okay,
right.
I sit. Okay, I will sit.
And a mic for you. Okay. So welcome back to the stage, Councillor Morley. And so we collected questions from some of you folks on your way in. You were kind enough to write down your questions on these cards that were outside. And we wanted to take this opportunity to share your questions with Mayor Chow and Councillor Morley. And so we'll try to get through as many as possible, but we do know that we have limited time and you have to run to other engagements, but uh-oh. Someone is very popular.
I'm just going to start dancing.
Okay. So I will jump in and get us started. And this is something that I know is on the minds of lots of folks in the room and across the city. This community member wrote, "Hi, Olivia. Housing in the city is so unaffordable. I live in a co-op, but I'm concerned about the future for my children. Almost all new developments are for single people consisting of one-bedroom units. What is the city's plan for affordable housing for families? We need more 3- and 4-bedroom affordable housing units."
Yeah, we do. So we have several programs going. One, I just talked about, we use all our city land. We have land. We have parking lots. We have space in front of, occasionally in front of school, libraries, community centers, housing. So we did a survey of all the land that the city has, and we said to nonprofit groups, come build. But then the nonprofit group said, we don't have the money to put the proposal together. We said, okay, we'll give you some financing to help you put your proposal together. They said, well, we can raise some of the money, but it's really expensive to build housing. We provide a grant. So recently, we put aside $358 million, not necessarily all from your money, but from other levels of government to help both the federal and the provincial government said yes. Amazing. That we are, so we then said to the nonprofit groups, some of them are cooperatives, and they put in the proposal. Years ago, it took, or on average, 2-3 years to approve an application at City Hall. You know, I fall asleep waiting. Or I don't know, 3 years. So right now, that co-op, there's one in Toronto, very big one, 500 or 600 units. They put in the application in April. Guess when they got the approval? By July, they got approval. 3 months, not 3 years, 3 months. Okay, yeah, faster. Maybe because I'm getting old, I'm already old. I can't wait, you know? I don't want to wait for 3 years to get an approval. So we are shortening all the approval process to make it faster, especially for nonprofit. So there's 2 streams right now. If it's nonprofit, family, faster. Condos, faster too, but not as fast as the other ones. Also, nonprofit, you get our land. Also, we would exempt your development charges, property tax. We exempt a whole bunch of things so that they have the funds to build it. And we're looking at 6,000 units. We're going to do more. This is just as a start. So program number 1. Program number 2. There are buildings that are renovating seniors. Yeah. Demo-evicting. You heard of that? They say they're going to demolish. They want, they build much higher. In some of those buildings, we said, come together and form a cooperative. Form a land trust. What's that? Well, basically, you come together and form a group, okay? Support each other. And then go and ask the city to help you buy the building. So you then go buy the building. Then you now own, the nonprofit or the land trust then own the building, which means that your rent will be secure because it's nonprofit. That means you will have affordable housing, affordable homes forever. So we put in, as you said, $100 million. We're asking the federal government to give us a lot more because they have all the bucks. And so that we could actually, right now we're only buying buildings that are short, small buildings because we don't have that much. If you, like 100 million across the city is not a lot. So we're asking the federal government, so if you see your MP, they have a program because I finally persuaded them that this is a good thing, except they didn't put enough money in it, right? So we're saying that in the upcoming economic statement in November, please move more money into your first or second year because they might get into an election. Before you get into an election, can you just flow some money so we could buy some of the buildings? Can you imagine? I know I shouldn't say this, but I heard that there are some problems happening on Lake Promenade, for example. There are some buildings, well, it'd be great if we could find enough money to buy the building, even if you buy one. Right? Yeah, would that be a good idea? Yeah, do it. We've done it in other areas. Now, those buildings are taller because I know how, like 8 or 10 story high, 12, 10. Okay, something like that. It's more expensive than what the city can afford, but with the federal government, we can do it. The city have done it before. There's 3 buildings just about the same size on Church Street, between Wellesley and Carlton. It was up, and there was big discussion. The landlord was, they were trying to evict people. The city stepped in, bought those 3 buildings, became co-ops. This is in the 80s and 90s. The reason why I know is my late husband, Jack Layton, was involved in getting that deal pulled together. And for those 20, 30, and now, those buildings, all these several decades now, a beautiful cooperative. No one gets evicted because they can't pay the rent. So it's secure. So I hope this can happen. One last, maybe I talked too much. Yeah, one more. May I do one more?
Go for it.
Yeah? One more idea that we're actually doing. It's not just an idea. It's called Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit. What is a housing benefit? You know, there's encampment in and around areas. Encampments, tents, all across Toronto. People are sleeping in tents. I know tonight is warm. It's going to get cold. And camps means that I have one in Kensington Market. I live in Kensington Market, Chinatown area. There are like 7, 8 tents there. Oh, more than that. And this really tiny park called Bellevue Park. And they took over, I don't know, 3/4 of the park, which means the kids can't get to their playground, okay? And they just crowded. And you know downtown there's not a lot of parks. And it's making life really hard for the local residents. But there's a law that says you can't get people out of encampments, because this has been tested in court, unless you have a place to get them to. So we could talk to them and say, please leave. We can't physically to tell them to leave because we don't have a place for them, because all the shelters are full. This is where the housing benefit can come in. The housing benefit, before end of March, we were giving a bit of rent subsidy. So let's say if it costs $1,000 to rent something, a small room, right? Yeah, I know, not, okay, 1,200, small room. That if you can only afford 500 or 600, we will subsidize you for the other amount so that you can actually get into a place of your own. You're taking people out from shelters and giving them a permanent home. Now, for families, for moms that are leaving domestic violence, intimate partner violence, it could save their lives and the lives of the kids. So we need to immediately move people out using rent subsidy. Then we can then provide more space for people that are sleeping in tents right now into shelters or into some kind of housing. That's the way to deal with encampments. That's the way to quickly move people into housing, by subsidizing the rent a little bit. Then you may ask, Mayor Chow, isn't that very expensive? It's actually a lot cheaper. Right now, because our shelters are so full, we have to rent hotels. During COVID, we rented hotels. You know how much is it for one room in hotels in Toronto? The cheap rate is about $200 a night, plus food. That's a whole lot of money. If I can just provide like 10% of it or 20% of it, that person can be subsidized to move into something, right? Then we are, with the 12,000 people in shelter right now, did you know that? 12,000 people in shelters. You know how expensive it is, how demoralizing it is for these homeless people living in shelters, how hard life is for people living in tents. Do you think they want to live in tents? No, they can't find. The shelters are full. We turn away 200 or 300 people each night because the shelters are full. That's why they're camping. So we would love the provincial and the federal government to join us, because the program stopped in April. For last year or so, I came in, I said, I need money on this housing benefits because it helps people immediately. The federal and the provincial government have a bit of a conversation. They said, okay. But the program ended in April. So since April, May, June, July, August, September, we haven't had anything. Normally we put 300 or 400 people per month into this rent subsidy. That is what we need, and I hope the province and the federal government would step up and continue this rent subsidy program and provide more funds in it. Then we can deal with the shelter program, then we can actually take people out of camps, give them a place to stay. It's better for the neighborhood, better for them, better for, so that we can continue to house people properly with a roof over the head. Sorry for the long answer, but I want to explain what this is all about. Okay, I'll stop now. Thank you for asking the question.
Yes. That was perfect because you went right ahead to my second question and started answering already. So that was perfect. Our second question, and I've grouped them here because we've got a couple that are along the same themes. As you can see, we've got a couple on this one, which is the encampment piece that you were just speaking about.
But Deputy Mayor Molly may have a few words. I know you've been doing quite a lot of work on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But happy for you to read the question, and then I'll see what I can
Sure.
cover off.
So both the questions are about addressing encampments and what is the city's policy on homeless encampments in public spaces and plans for providing sustainable housing solutions for those affected. And I think we've heard a bit about the plans already and the policy on homeless encampments in public spaces.
Yeah, and something concrete on Coronation Park and in the parking lot. I'll leave it for you.
Thank you, Mayor Chow. Thank you, Kadon, for the question. And I know this is an issue we've all been navigating as a community. When I grew up in Etobicoke Lakeshore, we didn't have neighbors that were sleeping in tents in our parks or in our parking lots. And so this is, again, I think, a symptom of some of the underinvestment that we have seen from other orders of government, from some of the lack of prioritization of affordable, accessible, transitional housing, and frankly, simple things like rent control. That has really, I think, sent the market into a tailspin and made it very difficult for working people even to afford a place to live. So with respect specifically to some of the encampments that we have been navigating here in Etobicoke Lakeshore, there is no longer an encampment at the Coronation Park. I know there continues to be neighbors that are sleeping in the parking lot at Lamp, and we've been deeply engaged with our encampment office staff at the City of Toronto. They're making daily visits to community members that are in the parking lot, and we've been working very closely and hard with Cadone to not only address the issue of our unhoused neighbors at Lamp, making sure that they're connected to the basics that they need to get into a shelter, to access some of the supports that Mayor's talking about, but we need more from our other orders of government. We've had our local neighborhood officers have been deeply engaged, make regular visits, just to ensure that the wider community understands this is a multi-stakeholder issue. We are all impacted by it in different ways, and there is many different individuals and divisions that have areas of responsibility here. So I know one of the issues with respect to the encampment at Lamp specifically is concerns about the proximity to the daycare, proximity to the houses that are neighboring, some of the issues around sanitation and these different other pieces. So I know that this is something we continue to work on. We did host a community meeting so we could bring all of the various stakeholders who have a role to play forward and share information about the various efforts that are underway, making sure people have their ID, making sure people have their information. And those are all sort of the basic pieces to get them into housing, to get them onto a housing programs. And my understanding is the majority of the individuals that are currently at LAMP are connected to the encampment team, are working on housing plans, and again, the critical nature of ensuring that we actually have space and homes to move people into is a big picture work that's happening. And we continue to be deeply engaged and looking forward to getting people a safe and dignified place to go. And that work is ongoing and very active.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead, Mayor Cho.
Yeah, the shelter housing folks have workers call from street to homes, and to get people off the camps, and most of the time it's effective. In the case of Allen Garden in downtown Toronto, huge encampment there, but through a lot of work, we were able to get people housed. And then we have a security guard there, then because it's a big park, to make sure people can't come back in and tent again. So that's after a while. Then now, the problem is this, we just don't have enough shelters. We're building them. We just put aside a whole lot of money to build 8 new shelters, because building shelters that is run by the city is a lot cheaper than renting those hotels. And we want to get out of all the hotels completely, but we can't right now. If we get out of the hotels, then there are more people camping. If we want to get people out from tents, we need to get them a place, because legally we can't just, we can move them around, but they would just go from this park to that park, which happens sometimes, especially in downtown. You might not happen here, Lakeshore, but they go from one place to another place. We move them, and they just travel around, and it just defeats the purpose.
Right, thank you. I know this is a tough issue that the city's dealing with, and a tough one that we're dealing with. It's a problem that's very close to home, literally close to home. And we, as an organization, do our best to support our neighbors who are unhoused, but also acknowledge the challenging situation it is for everyone in the community. And so we're encouraged to hear that the encampment at Coronation Park has been cleared, and we look forward to the encampment at our LAMP parking lot being cleared very shortly, right? Yes.
Can I just say one more thing? Some of the people in tents have multiple challenges. So it's not just a roof over their head. Some of them needs mental health support, needs sometimes addiction work. So we are actually working with a group of agencies. We're piloting something called Health Hub. Nothing that LAMP doesn't know about, because you provide comprehensive care. So that it would involve a place where you have primary care, you can come in and take a shower and have a meal, have a place to sleep, and have some music and dance. Sorry. And also have mental health support if needed, drug treatment programs, and a place to help you get your, get back on your feet. And it could mean employment or school eventually. So it's a comprehensive, a person-centered approach. It's not just about a shelter, because what we find sometimes, we would house someone and then they get evicted because they have multiple challenges. They end up being on the street. Or if they're not camping, they are on the subway riding back and forth, or on your streetcar going back and forth, or in your library or community center. So one way or another, we need to do that kind of comprehensive work to support the person, using housing first as the main strategy, as the main focus.
Absolutely, that wraparound support is critical for people to be successfully housed. And at LAMP, we do provide all of the wraparound services Mayor Chow was referencing: the access to primary care, access to showers, access to machines to do your laundry, access to food, access to a place to socialize with your community members. Because I do want to stress that it's important for us to not just be caring and compassionate, but to really give some thought to the fact that the folks who are living outside would much prefer to be indoors. And there are difficult situations that happen with folks, and many of us are a circumstance or two away from those same situations. So we try to make sure that there's a compassionate and caring outlook on that, and working with community members. There are always challenging situations. That doesn't mean there aren't challenges, right? But we do our best to support. And the one thing, though, that LAMP does not do is provide housing. Yeah. And so we are really keen to work with our partners at the city, our community members, to make sure that that one piece that we don't provide is provided to these folks who deserve to be indoors in a place that's warm. With the winter months coming, we're worried for safety. And so thank you for what you've shared on that topic today, and we look forward to continuing to work with you on that. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and away from that, and we've got two questions here that are around city planning. How can we focus on increasing green space, preserving local amenities, and addressing congestion with one, particularly focusing on whether or not there are any plans for more bike lanes?
Well, green is important. Well, you are very blessed with a lot of greens. The Mimico Park, the Topico Creek, the beautiful, the Humber. I paddle my kayak up and down Lake Ontario. Some of you might even have seen me up Etobicoke Creek and over to the, I don't belong to that yacht club, don't have a boat, but go by it. You have quite a lot of green space, but programmable space are really important. So as we build more housing, we need to protect the green space and also make sure that we keep those green space in good shape. If not, it can get degraded. So that is a priority because I'm an outdoor person. I spend a lot of time on the water, in the water, or walking in one of the ravines and parks all along Lakeshore. Colonel Smith's Park. I'm there in winter time, summertime. Check out the cardinals that are flying even in winter. So you may run across me even running up and down, going out to the lighthouse. But anyway, I digress. I know your area too well. But bike lanes, there are some that have been approved. I think there was one in Kingsway that was approved in 2023 in June. I came in July. So are there ways one could improve how it looks and how it's done, perhaps? In terms of, there is a master plan on bike lanes across the city. And I noticed that Lakeshore have places. Used to be, it's really hard to go from Port Credit, that's outside Toronto, but from the boundary in Martin Goodman Trail all the way into the Grand Marina, around the Lakeshore, where the Humber Bridge is at. So connecting all of it, it's almost done, and which makes it really easier. I do notice that there was a sad a young woman was biking, I think, in one of the Bernethorpe, and she died because some young man was driving a car and hit her. So that was sad. So in terms of local areas, I don't know the details, but your local councillor does.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor, and for the question, Cadone. I think as we all know and appreciate, one of the most beautiful characteristics of Etobicoke Lakeshore is the expansive green spaces, our waterfront, our creeks and trails, and I see some of our Friends of Parks group leaders here today who contribute to the vibrancy and protection of these important spaces. A couple of quick projects I just want to touch on quickly. There is currently an active Lakeshore Avenue study that our planning department is leading, and that's looking at all things related to speed limits on Lakeshore, pedestrian experience on Lakeshore, potential for bike lanes and other things of that nature. So if you haven't already engaged in the Lakeshore Avenue study, it is still ongoing and active. Check it out online, and please share your input with respect to that. Many of you will know Birmingham. We've got some beautiful protected bike lanes along Birmingham, and I've been so thrilled on my drives in and out to work to see students, young people, and seniors safely being able to get around our neighborhood utilizing that infrastructure. And as the mayor touched on, we also have the complete streets along Bloor Street that have just completed the final portion of the installation along Bloor from Dundas over to, all the way down through to our neighboring ward of High Park. So I, as your leader and representative, am a big believer of the importance of planning our roads in a way for all road users, including cyclists. We had a devastating situation happen in our ward, a young woman, 26 years old, killed trying to go out for an evening ride with her husband and friends because there was no safe infrastructure on that particular street. Those are preventable deaths. We cannot change people's behavior and how people choose to drive, but we can design our roads in a better way that better supports pedestrians and active road users, along with supporting, of course, our cars getting to where they need to go. So I will continue to be a champion and an advocate for active infrastructure that is safe and protected in our community. It's not always popular, and it's been a bit of a challenge socializing this idea and having people adapt to the change that comes along with it. But we have worked very closely with staff. There's been over a dozen changes that we've made in response to community feedback, and we want to make sure that this is a project that works for everybody, including the local small businesses up in that area, and of course the stakeholders and residents who live close by. But we have 30,000 new units that are in the pipeline at 6 points that are coming into our neighborhood. And so how we navigate as a community, we need to continue to be proactive and support the necessary infrastructure coming into place. So those are a couple of things. And one quick one, sorry, I don't want to make this long, but we also are looking at working on activating hydro corridors in our ward. So just north of the Queensway, there's a large hydro corridor that is passively used for students and for other things, and we're looking at how can we better animate those spaces as public accessible green spaces, pollinator gardens, and other opportunities like that. So that's a very active project. We look forward to getting that to the place where we're coming out for public input, but that's something that we're working very hard to protect as we also see massive density and growth coming to the Queensway area and wanting to protect and ensure those residents have access to green space like all of us down here in the south do. So those are some of the things that are going on at a local level.
You also mentioned the word congestion, being stuck in traffic. You might have heard me just a few days ago. If you block the box, i.e. you are driving right into the intersection, the light is, turned, the cars can go this way, except you're blocking that intersection, so no one is moving anywhere. It's infuriating, right? So we up the fine, okay? If you're gonna have bad behavior, you pay for it. It's going from $125 for the offense to $450, okay? Yeah, I know. So, and we are trying to install more cameras to catch bad behavior. We also, some of you go, oh my God, what's wrong with that gardener? How long is it gonna take, right? Because we have to rebuild that section of Garner. So when you're driving into, say, visit your friends down in downtown, it's stuck, right? But it's better now. We have opened up some ramps. We are speeding up the construction. It was going to take 3 years because we're keeping that Garner open while we're rebuilding it. So we took off one side and moved the lane, rebuilt the side. So it's go from 3 years to 2 years. The Minister of Transportation, the provincial guy, and I went to visit 2 days ago the place where they make these concrete bars, steel bars, and all these bridges that in order to, like all the concrete stuff. And they're doing it really fast. So we're speeding up. Thank you for the provincial government joining with us, gave us a bit of cash. We're making it a lot faster. And the last thing is, I don't know whether, you won't necessarily see it here, but some intersections further east, these traffic wardens, have you seen them? A guy, yeah, with a traffic thing, right? With whistles, loud, yes. They're really effective. They're speeding the cars along, and it's making it safer for pedestrians and cyclists, making it a lot faster for the cars to speed, get ahead. About 96% of the blocking the box bad behavior disappeared because they won't dare, because you have a traffic warden there. We're hiring more of them. We're 40, we're hiring more because they're very effective. So those are the things that we are doing to make congestion better, but the only way that it would be most effective is what? Building better public transit so that more people take public transit. On that one, we've increased the bus services. Yay. And the streetcar services. In your area, we are organizing, so with less transfer, because lots of people are going to Humber College and all that. So we worked out routes that are making it faster with less transfer, and that's one of the routes is in this neighborhood. So easy. And we're increasing services to TTC. We're almost back to the level we were before the pandemic. We're going to overshoot it. As you saw a few days ago, they're now, wow, all these people are now taking TTC. You know why? Because we won't increase the fares. If you increase the fares, people stop taking it. So we're keeping it affordable, increasing the service, making it better, making it safer, making it more reliable as much as we can. And we are trying to persuade the federal government to give us money to buy new subway cars on the Bloor line. It's long overdue. So again, if you see your MP and your MPP, remind them, join with the city. I know I sound like a broken record. We need partners. Okay? They're doing really well with us, but they could do more. So when you see them, tell them, join the mayor, join your local councilor, because we can use their support to get new subway cars and better housing, get the city moving, build more homes, and feed more kids.
All of that. Yes.
Tomorrow.
Okay. So with that, I did get the poke from Jasmine that we are at time, but I wanted to thank everyone for their questions. The questions that we weren't able to ask, we will share with Mayor Chow's office, but there was one that I thought I would end this session with, and you don't have to answer it. You can if you'd like, but someone...
How old I am? I already did that.
Someone wrote a question here for you, Mayor Chow, that says, "Why are you so good?" So thought we'd end on that note.
Because I was really bad when I was a kid. No, no, no. I live my life based on the principle: love your neighbor as yourself, right? And share what you have. Be caring. And I learned it, be the light. And I learned it, lamp, be the light. That's how I live my life. So, but yeah, I spent I managed to fail grade 3. Okay, so I was very bad when I was a kid. So, no. Anyway, thank you for that very nice question.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
And I'd like to thank you both for your time this evening, and thanks to all of you for coming out to our 47th AGM.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Kadong.
Yeah. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, everyone, and stop by LAMP sometime. If you're not a member yet, become a member. It's easy. And if you'd like to support our programs and services, it's also easy to donate. Come by, enjoy our services, and give us some ideas of how you'd like to see us engage with the community. Have a wonderful evening.